Okay, here's a couple of things that I wanted to do with you guys tonight. Is first of all, number one, what we always do on these Wednesday night webinars is we try to give you a couple of tips, a couple techniques and tweaks that you guys can use in building your business. Okay, so I want to start out before we dive into the webinar and presentation for our topic, which is the 48-hour launch and how to get your new affiliates rocking and rolling. I want to give you 3 tips. Okay, let me give you 3 tips that I've seen people do these over the years. I've seen people make massive mistakes. I've seen people ruin, credibility, influence, and then what's left is, they feel like, man, I've talked with everybody that I know. Maybe you can relate to that. I certainly have been in that situation. Maybe you feel like, man, I'm kind of shy, I'm quiet, I'm reserved. I can't get out there and do what other people do. I definitely can relate. I am not a public speaker. I've learned how to do it. But if you saw me years ago, first time I got up in front of a crowd, I put the paper literally in front of me. I never raised my hand. I never volunteered to talk and give comments in school or anything like that. Maybe you feel like you have nobody left to talk to, or how do you generate leads, or how do you, go, build your business if you're not talking to anybody. Okay. Let me give you 3 tips on how you can change that dramatically right now, today, that if you apply these things right now, you will start to see success immediately. Okay. And then we'll jump into the 48-hour launch. Why? Because these things go hand in hand. Number 1 is you're probably going to do something like this. Build your business both offline and online. So let me talk about online for a minute. Going to social media and posting anything about your company links, your company products, your company photos, branded stuff, changing your profile to employed by or things like that. Anything that you're doing with all of that, it's not helping you. It's actually hurting you, okay? Because there's no curiosity. There's no curiosity left. Think about it, okay? Put yourself on the other end of that. If everything that you see from somebody is always about the product, always about the company, always about an opportunity, we become numb to it and we begin to unfollow those people. We begin to unfriend those people, and we don't really pay attention to what they're doing. There's no intrigue. There's nothing exciting about that. So number 1 tip is stop posting stuff about, that's a leisure life this, a leisure life that, things like that. Leave the company name out of it. As much as you can, leave the company name out of it, okay? And that's going to create a heck of a lot more success. Now, somebody might say, well, what about if I share this comment or things like that? There's very little exceptions, but do everything that you can to not, spill the beans, if you will, of what you're actually doing. Create curiosity, okay? Number 2, here's a tip. When specifically on social media or out and about, I call this alert living, daily activities. You meet somebody at the gas station or you see somebody online. Stop selling and looking at everybody with a dollar sign, above their head. Ooh, how much money would they be if they joined my team? How much money would I make if I recruited them? Stop looking around at everybody to sell them and start telling the story. Telling the story of the opportunity, telling the story of your experience, telling the story of the successes around you, telling the story of people that have saved literally thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, with the membership. Tell, don't sell. And if you don't have stories to tell, I'm going to slap you a little bit. Get on the webinars. Okay, plug into the groups, plug into the trainings, plug into the support mechanism that's there. Okay, now third comment or third tip before we dive in is specifically on social media. Okay, comments way more than likes. If you get on social media and just go like, that will hurt you, okay? There's a thing called an algorithm. I don't want to get technical, but there's a thing called an algorithm. It's basically a code of what Facebook thinks you want to see. And comments mean more than likes, okay? Now, here's a formula that will dramatically transform your success and generate more leads, more prospects, more people for you to talk to now about your opportunity, okay? I hope you're taking notes, okay? First things first, comments equal conversations. I want you to start thinking about that comment bar online. It doesn't mean comment, it means conversation. When you start a conversation with somebody, okay? Now, this is the formula. Conversations create relationships. Somebody comments on your post, comment back. Okay? Start a conversation. And don't use lame comments like, wow, cool, super, an emoji, you know. I mean, be real, be authentic. You know, think of it as a conversation. Yes, it's public. Yes, everybody's going to see it, but start it as a conversation. You're trying to create interaction. Why is this important? Because when that algorithm, that technical code, when people start commenting on a post, liking, sharing, commenting, and then that algorithm triggers it and it shows up on more people's news feeds, which means more people will see that. It triggers and says, wow, you might be interested in this. It's getting a lot of comments, a lot of interaction is going on. So that's one way to work together as a team in your groups, work together as a team to help recruit each other's people, and for you to generate leads and intrigue of go out there and comment. I mean, before you go out and pitch your opportunity, just go to Facebook and take 5 minutes and warm up the algorithm. Go comment on a bunch of people. Comment on your friend. Hey, it was nice to see you at the barbecue. Wow, those are cute pictures of your kids. How old are they? I mean, just be genuine, okay? So with that, I'm going to recap the formula. Comments create conversations. Conversations create relationships. Relationships build the business. Relationships build the business. Why do I say that? Because so many people think that building your business online, sitting behind a computer, posting videos and links and sign up on my page right now, that's not the way to do it. That's actually hurting you. Now, I know if you've done I made those mistakes. If you've done those, first thing you can do is make the correction and start taking this advice moving forward. Okay, now let's jump into our topic tonight. Before I want to lay the foundation, lay some groundwork here. Here's the groundwork. There's an economic river out there. Some people would associate this as maybe Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, cash flow quadrant, you know, the way that you generate income and things like that. This one resonates with more people, okay? You've got the poor, middle class, and the wealthy. Okay, the wealthy would be what would be considered the right side of the cash flow quadrant. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a couple of short minute videos that you can go and research and look at. Cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, very basic. Talks about that there's an employee, a self-employed individual on the left side. On the right side, there's a business owner and an investor, and they create all the wealth. Okay, think of now this bucket as your income source, your means of sustaining life, your money. Okay, the poor, they spend their money on liabilities. Liabilities do not generate more money. It's like a candy bar, a cup of coffee, you know, just dumb stuff. So every single month, the employee, the poor, low income, they have to take their bucket, run down to the river, fill it up, and go back. Home to work to home, home to work to home. They have no leverage. They have no way of creating more income. Why? They run out of time and they spend their money in the wrong place. Number two is the middle class. These are also self-employed or employees, okay? The middle class have maybe more buckets, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or 2 incomes, 3 incomes, but it's just a bigger bucket. They have to go to the river and get more money every single time. Home to work to home to work to home. And when they come home, what do they spend their money on? Again, liabilities and false assets. Now, if you were like my parents were taught that an asset is your home, your boat, your vehicle, your cars, okay? In order for your house to be an asset, it needs to pay you money. But yet, how much did it cost you? Well, your mortgage. Well, what if you own it and paid it off? Well, you still got insurance, you've got electricity, you've got bills that you can't pay off. It costs you money. In order for your home to be an asset, you need to rent it out and not even live in it. Have nothing, completely outside. Okay, well, where are you going to live then? In order for your car to be an asset, it takes money. It needs to produce you money. Okay? In order for your boat to be an asset, it needs to produce you money. So the middle class, the self-employed and employees, they have more buckets, but they buy false assets. What's left over? Nothing. They still got to go back to the economic river to create their income. The wealthy, the business owner and the investor, they create pipelines. They create channels. They create avenues where that economic river flows to them, and now they don't have to go back and forth carrying buckets. They create their income where now they're done working. That's what separates the poor and middle class from the wealthy and the upper class. That's what separates the left side of the cash flow quadrant from the right side of the cash flow quadrant. So how do you create true assets? Number one, you need a business. That's where a leisure life comes in. Welcome to a leisure life. You're now an affiliate. You now have a true asset. But can you operate this asset as an employee by only creating effort when you work? Absolutely. That means you're doing it wrong. Okay? Have you ever felt like this? You work for 2-3 weeks straight, you get tons of success, tons of momentum, things are going on, but then when you have to take a step back, maybe you go on vacation or whatever the issue may be, does your team slow down? You felt that way? Man, you want to know how to solve that? We're going to talk about that, okay? But the point is you've got to get yourself into that scenario where now you're creating leverage. You're buying true assets. A true asset puts money in your pocket. I'm just going to put a plug out there. If you're debating whether to come to Las Vegas, okay, stop thinking about it. Buy the ticket, buy the airline, reserve your hotel, arrange your transportation, because that is an asset, not a liability. It will put money in your pocket, not take it away. Versus, well, maybe I'm going to stay home and build my business. Think about all the lost opportunity that you would have by being able to do it. Think about building a business from a social media standpoint alone. Getting around, dozens to hundreds of people, being able to take pictures and post them and look at a lifestyle, be able to show that you're living your product, your business as you're working it. Think about the avenues of lost opportunity by not coming to events. Okay, I'm going to be in St. Louis, Missouri, on February 3rd. Anybody in that region, anywhere close, if you're thinking about not coming to that event, shame on you. I mean, shame on you. You're spending money in false assets, not true assets. Liabilities, not true assets. Okay, so now that you have this foundation, how do you leverage this business, this asset that you truly have, and treat it like a business? Okay? First thing you want to do with a brand new affiliate, okay, is go through the Fast Start Guide checklist. Have they enrolled? Check. Are they on an auto ship? Check. Are they qualified to get a paycheck this month, meaning that their membership has gone through? Check. Have they set up a tax file? Okay? Why? If you don't set up a tax file, if you don't know the advantages and disadvantages of a tax file in this business, Okay? You are wasting your time, flat out, hands down. I was on the phone with one of our top leaders the other day, and he was telling me about a couple people in his business literally cannot afford to maintain their membership. It's costing them. It's pay my membership or put food on the table. That's literally their decision. What do I do with that $99 a month? And I flat out looked him in the eye and said, you're doing it wrong. The tax file should never take money out of your pocket. It should put money in your pocket. Set up a tax file. If not, you will have people quit, I guarantee it. Why? Because they see no value in it. But when somebody's making $1,000 a month plus whatever their business is producing, they don't quit because they see the advantages of the taxes alone. Number 4, you create your goals. You go through an action plan. Here's what we're going to do. Number 5, check. I've got my list, and we're going to dive into all this stuff right here in the Fast Start Guide. Okay. Number 6, you've got people, teach them how to expose people the right way, quickly, easily, efficiently. There's a 20-minute audio that I dive into exactly how to invite a prospect, the process, and the script is in the Fast Start Guide. Okay? If I will you. It is a ironclad way of getting people. The old school things, if you've been in networking for longer than 2 hours with a previous company, not a leisure life, forget what you think you know about how to build this. I'm begging you because that's not serving you well. Okay? There is a definite right way and a wrong way to build this business. Verbiage matters. It's psychological. Verbiage matters. Okay, so you got to learn the right verbiage and stay away from the verbiage that doesn't. Words like interested, people don't care about being interested. I'm not interested. That's an easy out. Versus open. People don't like to be, closed-minded. They want to be open-minded. They want to consider themselves open. Okay, so are you open to what we have, or are you interested in what we have? You see the difference? Verbiage matters. Teach them how to present, how to connect and follow up, how to get their ticket for the event, when's the next local event, when's the next online webinar, when's the next training, when's the next team call, when's the next all of these things. Get their ticket to it, subscribe to the newsletter, and create that strategy. Now that you've got all of that stuff, okay, let's dive into the 48-hour launch. Okay, the 48-hour launch is exactly, you can print this off, make professional prints if you want. We have those available at our live events. Okay, but the 48-hour launch brochure is very simple. It's a simplified version to get people into the Fast Start manual and the training manual. Okay, it's designed how to take things from nothing to get them into that excitement mode and keep them in that excitement mode so they're not just overwhelmed. What do overwhelmed people do? Nothing. Why? They're confused. What's confusion? It creates stagnation. What's stagnation? It's a fancy word called nothing. So, this is why you want to use the launch brochure. Another thing about the launch brochure, is it allows you time to schedule a launch session, a get start session. Okay, it's designed to get them to expose people via a house meeting, a Skype meeting, a Facebook Live meeting, a Zoom meeting, a webinar. It's designed to get them going and get their people and get them paid to be the most time effective and cost effective in doing that immediately. Okay, so here's what the Fast Start Guide is. If you've got your own copy, you might be able to see it better, but here's what the Fast Start Guide or the launch brochure is. In your first 48 hours, you want to read the welcome. Here's what a leisure life is. You want to create your story. You want to use the product. You want to log into your portal. You want to know what we've got. You want to know what's available. You want to connect with a leisure life. See, this is easing them into the Fast Start Guide. It's easing them into immersing them into the system. Connect with a leisure life. Connect through the Facebook. Like our page. Comment on our stuff. Join your team page or your team group. Know who your upline is. Get their phone numbers in your phone. Okay? All of those things. Step 1 of the 7 steps is understanding what your first goal is. It's getting 3 people. Becoming a Team 500, getting your first 3 people now, as fast as humanly possible. And this is what's going to get your people paid. A leadership, let me talk on a high level. This is more of an advanced, course for leaders. You want to be working at the bottoms of your organization, the newest and the deepest person. You need to be the one calling that person. You need to be the one welcoming that new affiliate to your team. You or your upline need to be the one grabbing that new affiliate and personally walking them through this 48-hour launch. Okay? Here's some things about defining your goals. Is you want to review what it takes, know what it takes to hit their goal. Okay? You want to understand that they need structure and volume if they want to be like a U33 or a 5K or a 10K or something like that. You need to understand the details about some of the products and where to find the tools and the brochures and the print aids and all that stuff within the system, so that you can get that stuff to that person immediately and give them success. You want to arm those people, put more arrows in their quiver. Step 2 is create a list. Okay? Now, you don't want to overwhelm them with, go out and make a list of 100 names of friends and family and everybody you've met since kindergarten and everybody in your cell phone, and let's write them all down. No, very simple. I want your 10 best that your upline is going to help you with. Okay? Why is your upline going to help you with them? Because these people probably make more money than you. That's why they're on your 10 best list. They probably look down to you. That's probably why they're on your 10 best list. And number 3, they need to see it from somebody else. They need someone else on their level or above with credibility. And that's where your upline comes in. Okay? So your 10 best, your upline is going to help you with. These are your sharpest people. These are people that if you were going to bet $10,000 of your own money, who would they be? This could be your chicken list, okay? But definitely these are your best list. We're going to dot our I's. We're going to cross our T's. We want to make a strategy, a plan of action for each and every one of these people before you go and call them, before you go and post a link, before you go and send them a text, hey, mass spam everybody, and here's my company and join me. It'll never work, okay? Did you join because you saw your friends spam everything? Probably not. The second list that you're going to build, okay, is your easiest list, your 10 easiest, okay? These are people that are your friends. These are people that you have credibility with. These are people that are your peers. These are people that you can just call them and say, hey man, I'm doing a business. I'm doing an adventure. I'm doing something exciting. You might have an interest, but I want you a part of my team. Can you be on this webinar I'm doing? Can you jump onto this call? Can you watch this video? And you just want to put those people in front of it. You probably don't need anybody's help to expose these people. You do, though, need to listen to the 20-minute training on how to contact, how to invite, because it's specifically designed for fast action, okay? You want to get people exposed fast. You don't want to spend 100 minutes with one prospect. You want to spend 1 minute with 100 prospects, okay? That's how it's designed to do it. And why is this effective? Because you can have 100 people watching the same 6-minute video and you're doing 4 other things, okay? And they're all doing it simultaneously, okay? So when you create that list with the affiliate, you're going to want to do the 10 best, 10 easiest, and then you'll go through the Fast Start Guide later and expand upon that list, building that list. Creating a list is a skill, okay? It's a professional attribute. You need to learn through the Fast Start Guide and the training manual how to expand and add to that list. And if you don't know how to expand and add to that list, then plug into the trainings, and there's a reason that we teach it on how to expand your list. We gave some excellent tips at the beginning of this video, okay? Step 3 is contact and invite. This is now quick, immediate scripts of how to get somebody exposed to that video now. Okay? Hey, there's something I'm excited about. You might have an interest, you might not. Either way is fine, but you're incredibly successful at what you do. I always like working with you. I've we built a friendship in the past. If I stop by and sit down with you for 5 minutes, can we talk? Hey, there's something that I want to share with you. Under ordinary circumstances, I would never bring something like this to you, but it just so happens that I'm building a business relationship with a couple of extremely successful individuals. You might have an interest in what we've got going on. You might not. Either way is fine. But if I send you a short video, if I set up a call, would you join it? Would you watch it? Simple short scripts. Rehearse them once or twice. Read them out loud before you actually pick up the phone and make the call, or before you actually send the text. You need the exact verbiage. Don't change it. Don't tweak it. The reasoning why is because this might not be the way that you talk, but you need to talk this way. You need to learn this way. It's the verbiage. Like I said, it's psychological. Okay? Now, the reason that tool is so important, and the 20-minute contacting audio is so important, is because it perfectly designs them into a 3-way phone call. That means it's the follow-up. There's a next exposure. There's something else other than just you, and they can see a bigger and a broader picture. So the important thing is that you need to understand is there's a concept called trust, respect, and expert. The expert helps you build rapport and trust with the prospect. You help the expert build trust and rapport with the prospect. The prospect now has trust in you and rapport with the expert. Follow that and you'll have a lot of success. Okay? The important things, if you are the expert, you need to get good at doing 3-way phone calls. You need to learn where the tools are, and you'll have a heck of a lot more success than just leaving your team up to their own devices. Okay? Now, another thing is edification. You want to teach that this is edification. It's not edify. Okay? Edify, not edify. It's not make up in imaginary things. Here's something that I learned a long time ago. My mom and dad sat me down and said, Kason, the truth is good enough. If I did something wrong, and they could tell that I was trying to make up some excuse or some story, they'd look me in the eye and they said, be very careful of how you answer this. The truth is good enough. I'd get in more trouble if I lied than if I just told the truth. Okay? So edification. If you built a $400 check, don't exaggerate it to $500. If you've built a $10,000 a month business, don't exaggerate it to $15,000. If you've made $20,000 a month, don't exaggerate it to $25,000 or $30,000. If you built a 7-figure income before, don't exaggerate it to multiple millions. Okay? The truth is good enough. Most people today are smarter than we give them credit for. They have intuition. They have discernment. And they can see through the phonies right away. But you want to edify the people you're working with. That means construct, build up. You want to help build them up, and they will in turn give that back to you. I remember long ago, a mentor of mine, I had a downline member who was very, very much more successful than I was. Keep in mind, I started at 21 years old. And he wanted the limelight, okay? He was very successful in business. I mean, he had kids my age and very successful in business, but he wanted the limelight. He wanted to be the one on stage. He wanted to be the one getting credit, all this stuff. And I remember in an event sitting next to him and my upline, and my mentor had him square in the eye, and he said, if you want to get all the credit, you need to edify other people. If you want to have credit, learn to give the credit to other people. Edify means you build up. Edify those around you. Edify your team. Edify your upline. Edify the company. Edify the membership. Okay? When you edify those around you, what that does is it puts them in a position to then edify and give credibility back to you. Okay? Step 4 is in the launch brochure is designed on how to conduct a meeting. Okay? Steps on how to present. Very simple. It's hard to screw up when you push play. Very simple. It's hard to screw up when you push play. Find a couple of videos, push play. Hey, get an upline on the phone, get a team member on the phone, get another story that's either live or there. Invite them on to help you close the meeting or build credibility and value. But it's hard to screw up when you follow the outline, when you follow the one step, when you follow the PowerPoint. Now, I understand that everybody's personality is different. Somebody might be, excited and full of energy, and other people might be very detailed oriented. But understand that the way that we present, that's more of, there's art and science. Okay, the science doesn't change. What we have doesn't change. Okay, the art is how you deliver it. That's your ability. That's your talent. That's your techniques. Okay, so power of edification is massive. It's massive. Edify those in your team way more, and you'll have a lot more success. Present. Okay, you want to narrow it down. Okay? Get to the material that person needs to make a decision. Okay? Now, steps 5 and 6, follow up and getting started. Following up with people. The fortune's in the follow-up. You've heard that. Don't drop the ball here. Don't drop the ball on the follow-up. Why? Just because you called them, just because you presented to them, just because you got them on the phone with an upline, it's still your job to make sure things are going to the next step. Let me give you a quick tip on follow-up. Okay? The easiest thing to remember is what is your objective? Okay? Your objective is not to sign people up. It's not to get more customers. It's not to get more affiliates. It's to get the next event. It's to get the next meeting. It's to get the next appointment. If your calendar, whatever you use, hard copy, electronic copy or not, if your calendar is not full, you have no activity in your business. Increase the calendar, and by default, your activity and results improve. So follow-up, don't underestimate the importance of follow-up, because you can, and don't misunderstand that being persistent, and don't confuse persistent with ignorance. Okay? Know who to follow up on and who not to follow up on. There's a clear difference. Okay? Crystal clear difference. And the follow-up is what leads to getting people started. It's the next event. It's the next thing in your calendar. Okay, they met this upline. Who's the next one? Okay, they've seen this webinar. They've watched this video. What's the next? What's the next? What's the next thing? And it's always the next event. If you always move every prospect down the field, think of it as football. If you keep moving down the field, eventually you're going to get into the end zone. If you keep following up, eventually you're going to get signups. Okay? Some of the biggest people that I've recruited in my years took me 3 and 5 years to recruit them. But it was building the relationship. It was following up. It had a lot to do with timing and all those things. So follow-up is key. That's what leads you into getting people started. The secret in getting people started is exactly what we've just done today. This 48-hour brochure and the checklist. It's what eases them in. The Fast Start Guide now dives them into what to do and what not to do. The verbiage, the scripts, don't be doing this, do be doing this. Okay? Step 7, promote. Promote. What do we promote? Promote the next event. Keep in mind, if you just went through this with me and I'm your brand new prospect, okay, or brand new affiliate, I just signed up 5 minutes ago. You sit down with me, and the first 24, 48 hours, you're telling me about Las Vegas or whatever the next, major event is, the leadership workshop or the training, workshop or a regional event or a national event or a local event, you're telling me that, hey, the expectation is in a few weeks, few days, few months, we have this event. Let's get your ticket. Let's get your airfare. Let's square it away because you're not going to want to miss it. Plus, remember that tax file we talked about? It's a tax write-off. That's a free vacation. Okay? A day of travel there, a day of travel home, the day of the event. That's 3 days that's business related. That means you can stay 2 extra days for that trip legally, at least in the United States. I don't know what Canada's tax laws are. You can stay up to 5 days and have that whole trip be a tax write-off. That means that's 2 extra play days. Okay? Why do you think years ago my team would always do events in Anaheim, California and Orlando, Florida? Because we'd always go to Disneyland. Okay? Why do you think we'd always do leadership events at resorts like Park City or Lake Tahoe? Okay? It's because people like to go ski and snowboard. That's why we would do them, at Turtle Bay and all these nice resorts where people could go and sit on the beach and be able to play and enjoy the fruits of their labors while they had a 1-day event or so on. Imagine having, a 2-day event or a 3-day event. That means you can turn it into an entire week of a tax write-off. So there's some significant things that we've got going on to teach people. Okay, so promote the events. Incredible. Okay, here's a couple of tips with that page. Follow up. Okay, follow up. Focus on attitude. Okay, the attitude. Get them excited over what the possibilities of them accomplishing their goals are going to be. Okay, what does it mean to them to follow this process? Here's one thing that I want to share with you. Okay, when I was brand new, I asked a mentor of mine named Larry. I said, okay, tell me what it takes to be a millionaire in network marketing. Tell me what it takes to be a millionaire in this company. And he didn't tell me exactly, but this was his response. He said, Kaysen, it's not hard to be a millionaire. It's just a little bit easier not to. It's the daily disciplines that make it easy to be a millionaire. The daily disciplines. What are the daily disciplines? So what does it mean? What's the difference between the poor and middle class and the wealthy? It's the daily disciplines. What's the difference between the 6- and 7-figure earners and everybody else? What's the difference between the wanters and the doers? It's the daily discipline. Have the discipline to sit down and follow a simple, laid out, step-by-step pattern of the 48-hour launch, of the Fast Start Guide, of the training manual, of the All 7 system. Have the discipline. Now let me share something with you about discipline. Okay, it takes no effort to worry about things that are non-essential and not important. No effort at all. Okay, it takes no discipline if it's non-essential and not important. Okay, it takes no discipline if it's essential and really important. Like you're riding horses with your kid and the horse gets spooked and bucks your kid off and they fall down, break both their arms. You don't need to check your calendar to say, can I take my kid to the emergency room? It's essential, it's necessary, it's urgent, and it's important, right? It takes no discipline for that. It takes no discipline for things that are urgent, okay, but not important. Like, oh no, the garbage cans come, garbage truck's coming down. You got to go and take the cans out to the street. Oh, it's urgent. It's just not important. It takes no discipline to do that, right? You're having friends over and your spouse calls you and says, hey, we need to go and get the lettuce for our salad. Hurry, go to the store. It's urgent. Guests are coming over. It's urgent. It's not important, okay? This is where discipline lives. Are things that are important but not urgent. It's important for you to follow the system for your success long term in a leisure life. Is it urgent? No. It's just important. It takes discipline. It's important for you to eat healthy and to maintain a proper way of health. just in general. Why? Because if you don't, it's important. It's not urgent for you to eat your fruits and vegetables and exercise. It's just going to slowly kill you. See, it's not urgent. It's important. It's not urgent that you follow the All 7 system, that you get registered for the next leadership event, that you come to the next major event. It's not urgent. It's just incredibly important. That's called discipline. Incredible discipline is what separates the winners from the losers. Okay? So promote the business. Have urgency, but create it to be important for those people. Okay? Now, at these events, we have print copies of all the tools. If not, you can go to this website and you can request this and all the other documents that we have. You know, focus charts, these big poster boards that lay it all out, diagram your group, quick start guides, fast start guides, comp plan summaries, professional printed, copies. Okay, you can do it all yourself if you choose, but we can have it all available for you, extremely, high quality stuff, and just get it for you for cost. You can go ahead and get those at that link. Okay, now here's my final thoughts, and then I want to close this up for you tonight. Okay, here's a couple of things. If you go through the system properly with people, and you teach them what it really is for them to follow this system, your success will be significantly increased. Why? Because it eliminates confusion. If you're teaching this and the newest person is learning this, then that means they can teach it because it's all laid out there. Don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, don't go and take the fast start guide or the training manual or the launch brochure or the checklist. Don't take the All 7 system and reformat it because you want to have your stamp of approval on it. Okay, collaborate that. If there's a major errors, a spelling error or something that needs to be in there, bring it to your upline, bring it to your board member, bring it to your advisory council committee member. They will discuss it with us. We will then determine as a committee if that's an urgent thing or if it's an important thing. We will determine it from there. So hopefully you guys had enough good insight here, but it all comes down to this. Okay, dream dreams that inspire people. I hope you go out there and apply the things that we teach you, and you go out and become a long dreamer. Okay, some men and women can hold on to their dream until their dream comes true. That's called a long dreamer. Other men and women, they give up after a day or two. They give up after a week or two, and some give up after even a few months or a year. Make the commitment that you're here a year from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. Last thoughts, and then I'm done. Okay, I had a 7-figure earner tell me early on. He said, Kaysen, statistically, if you spend 10 years with one company and give it an honest effort, the average person that does that reaches the highest rank that company has to offer. Average that out, okay, across the whole industry, and that means that the average highest rank is $800,000 a year, just shy of $1 million a year in annual income. He said, so if you want to stack the deck into your favor, the odds are completely in your favor, and you can control them. Pick a company, stick with that company, build that company, stop looking left, stop looking right, and give it a 10-year run. And statistically, by average, 95% of people that do that reach the highest rank that company has to offer. Do you have any idea where a Leisure Life could produce you? I've talked with top earners and major producers of other companies about our compensation plan, and we've done the numbers. We've ran them. Okay, most mid 6 or 7-figure earners would be making almost triple the money in a Leisure Life's compensation plan. Imagine that. What if you were making $10,000 in company A With us, you'd be making about $30,000. What if you were making $400 in company A? With us, you'd be making about $1,350 to $1,500. See, look at the numbers. Most companies for a 10K business wouldn't pay you $2,100 a month. They'd pay you about $500 or $600 or maybe even $1,000 when you add up everything together. Final thoughts. Plant your flag. Be a long dreamer. You guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to shake your hand at the different events and locations that we have all over the place. Don't forget to write your story and to follow the All 7 system. Love you. Appreciate you. And this recording is now over. Have a great night.